electronics, languages, clinical psychology, and is a certified IB trainer, Cambridge trainer, and CBSE capacity building facilitator. Trained in CBT, RDBT, psychometry, special needs intervention, and positive psychology, she has taught across subjects and held leadership roles, including academic coordinator, school head, mentor, and a trainer. A lifelong learner, her passion lies in learning process and behavioral interventions. We extend a very warm welcome to you, Ms. Sindhu. Over to her. She will brief you as to what all have we planned for our children. Over to you, Ms. Sindhu.
In the afternoon, we listen about the story.
Wrong.
Sorry for keeping you waiting. We were actually waiting for some more parents, and thank you so much for patiently waiting. So, can you just have the papers which are passed to you? We'll have a small activity before I start talking about why we have assembled today. I promise you I will not bore you and put you to sleep. It would be quick, crisp, and up to the point what we are trying to tell, we are trying to put across. And so, the capacity what I have to talk about differential instruction, we call it, is that I was working with these kids and I'm still working with these kids with a lot of new learning philosophies which will help not just the students having differentiated instruction but also the students who are having learning as the priority in all their school years. So there is an age-old gap inside the mind that only kids with differentiated instruction need learning interventions. No, learning interventions are useful for every kid. Kids who have differentiated instruction will benefit and start doing it. The kids who are able to do will be doing it in a more vibrant way. So it is no actual differentiation. It is enabling rather than labeling. So keeping that in mind, I will just request you, please close your eyes. Put away your mobiles for a minute. Close your eyes. You have a paper in your hand. Please close your eyes. Aake band. Fold the paper into half. Close your eyes. See, closing eyes is so tough, na? Fold the paper into half, and there are 4 corners of the paper. Tear the 4 corners of the paper completely. The paper has 4 corners. Tear the 4 corners of the paper completely. People are thinking, where are the 4 corners of the paper? Tear the 4 corners of the paper completely. You're doing it with your eyes closed. Please keep your eyes closed. Close your eyes now. Fold the paper into half. After folding, there are 4 corners. Tear the 4 corners completely. Okay, repeat. Fold the paper again into half, whatever paper in your hand now. And repeat, tearing the 4 corners completely. Okay, band, please, eyes closed. Don't look at others whether they have closed their eyes or not. Everyone is at least trying to close their eyes. Okay, tear the 4 corners of the paper completely. Done. So good. So you can open your eyes. Open the piece of paper you have actually torn. Show it up. You just see now. That's it. My activity ends. You just see. Just see now. Sir, paper up, sir. Very nice. Nice. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you so much. So what was the difficulty? English instruction? No rocket science? Folding paper, tearing paper. Paper has 4 corners, we all know, whether folded or not folded. So what was the difficulty? First, what was the difficulty in closing eyes? Closing eyes is difficult, remember this. Park this. Closing eyes is very difficult, not just for anyone with differentiated needs, for everyone. Closing eyes is the first dissonance. Because when you close your eyes, all the other senses should be so much activated that you need to have that confidence stating, I'm using my ear now. I'm aware of my environment. I have my spatial perception part. I know what I can do with my eye closed. First dissonance, spatial perception. It's not easy. That's the reason in schools, the first thing we do is join your hands, close your eyes. And they'll behave just exactly like you. And they were jittered also some. Okay, what? We are waiting for half an hour. She comes and she says, close your eyes, tear the paper, half, fold, corner and all that, no? Right? This is one, first step. Two, our brain has a perception filter, right? The same activity, different designs. For me, it was simple. For me, I thought I have given you a paper, you fold into half, there were questions, which half? Vertical half, horizontal half. That was the first question from your end, right? What is she saying? This is not even a square. She has given some random paper. So that is one perception filter, right? Park the word, perception. And then tear it completely. Comprehension. Sir was actually tearing correctly. The moment I say completely, follow. Right? Completely. Comprehension. Communication with the special filter of comprehension. How our brain acts to a normal word. Right? 4. And 5. Why should I do it again? Right? So patience is done. Sitting tolerance over. Listening tolerance over. Listening. Right? This is listening. I have come in the morning, they called, I have come here to sit and listen to something. You define it here. 2, I have taken some permission from somewhere and it is not yet starting. Dissonance. 3, I have come and I am sitting and they are standing and talking there. They didn't even greet us and they didn't even say sorry, it's going to get late. 3, after sitting and you are ready to learn, there is someone who comes randomly and asks you to do, ask you to do a paper activity. 5, we are doing learning here. And if someone tells me learning is easy, I say no, it is so tough. I can't make you people learn just like that unless you park your trust with me. Unless madam has spoken so high about me, she told all my degrees, then I could tell my experience, then your trust is established. Then you say, okay, I think we have to listen to her. I think she has a bit of experience more than us, so that we can listen and we can trust. So trust. So all these 5 together, learning happens. And why is it not happening with few and why is it happening with few is some why. There is no reason. A lot of reasons are told, but there is no scientific approach stating that why that slowness or why the comprehension difference, why the dissonance, there is no reason. We also have, if I go deep and I conduct a proper workshop, which I really want to do to parents, to understand the comprehensions of what happens, how we perceive, what are our perception filters, etc., etc. I think you will really understand what's happening inside and you will respect the child's inner capabilities which are other than what we have defined. We have defined ourselves a lot of capacities and capabilities. No, we will redefine it. Okay, we have to do it actually as parents, we have to do it. So today's purpose was one to establish. I've been with these people who are in SEN department for past few months. We are trying to streamline few things and trying to bring in a model which is continuous, which is a cycle and which doesn't have breaks. When we started this, we started understanding there were a lot of gaps, and to fill a gap we required to sit and restructure the department. So our first thought was, how best can we restructure the department? 1, respecting the time we are spending. 2, the amount of resources we are spending. And 3, most importantly, a child's or a school's moral obligation is to see that the child goes with learning. And I am not defining the learning here. So for some, if a learning is getting good grades and 100 on 100 and graduate out of school, that is a kind of learning. For some, they are street smart and sell anything under sky, that is a learning. 3, you never know which last drop fills the bucket. So I am ready to wait till the last drop. Because that's what I am trained for and that's what I believe and that's a passion. Are you ready to wait till the last drop? We want the parents to wait till the last drop. We want our teachers to wait, and we want everyone included in the journey of the child to wait till the last drop which fills the bucket. So the meeting today. And thanks a lot for doing that activity. Right? So this is dissonance packet. So what we are going to do is just come. See, I am technically disabled. Just because psychology has not given it a definition, my disabilities goes unnoticed, and I very royally ask IT people, please do it for me. Before I go into what the framework and what are we planning next year, I'll just tell you what actually as a parent you have to look at the developmental areas, and this goes from 2 to 21. Don't give any bracket of 16 or 15 or 14. 2 to 21 is the neuroscience bracket psychologists have given for any kind of learning difficulty. Right? Any kind of learning difficulty. I am not even calling disability or disorder, mind it. And I tell all these people also, don't dare to call it a difficulty, disability, disorder, because we all have difficulties. I can't drive because I can't see map and drive. That is my geographical disability. I am disabled. In spite of all my 10 degrees which I claim, on my gold medals which I claim, the moment I see map and I see steering and I see road and someone is honking behind, I am gone. Because my perception, my visual discrimination, my spatial intelligence can't work together when I am driving. I am lost. So if I am called disabled, yes, I am disabled. But disability is not a definition given like that. There is a big definition to it. So today we are talking about all the three kinds. What kind of difficulty they have. So we call it specific learning difficulty. If your kids are falling under specific learning difficulty, it is only learning, only academics, only reading, only comprehension, only spatial, only writing. Their other intelligences are well intact more than anything else. So that is difficulty. 2. Disability. Disability is there, a part of thing is working, but you need someone to support. If that support is given, this can be managed to a very good extent. Then that becomes a disability. Like I have writing disability, I can't write in a white paper. I need 4-ruled paper, I need a double-ruled paper, or I need some line where I can write. This is. And disorder, which comes with multiple comorbidities. Learning is such kind of comorbidity packaged space. Because learning has to have the 10 sub-skills we have. Okay, there are 10 sub-skills for learning. Again, if you get a chance of any workshop, I think you as parents have to understand what are the 10 sub-skills for learning. If you are in grades 1 to 5, your kids are in grades 1 to 5, they have a difficulty of copying from the board, then it is called that spatial discrimination is not happening. You are all here, your mind is somewhere, there are certain noises, someone is in the classroom, just imagine a classroom scenario. Teacher is talking, someone is opening their box, someone is drinking, someone is ruffling the papers. So this all they have to listen to one specific voice called teacher and her instruction. This skill is called digit span. This is called auditory discrimination, where in the background of so much noise, child has to pick that specific voice and they have to concentrate so that they will listen. If they listen, they'll complete the task. This is called auditory discrimination. Very important sub-skill for learning. So because gaps like this into learning, they fall under that disability. So what we do in an SEN department, what people have to do in SEN or special education or any therapy, they have to align all therapies in such a way that they would establish a behavior. Behavior is very important. You need to have a behavior for doing that. You need to have the skill enforced, not just a skill of writing. There are students, I am hyper. If my mom would have been so very intelligent like mothers today we all, and you should have run DSM-5 if it was there at our time, and ADHD parent checklist, I would properly fall under ADHD. Because I never used to sit, I was always outside the classrooms. Punishments by, I'm from a convent, punishments by the ma'am, sister, kneeling down outside. First, there is a behavior of sitting and sitting tolerance also, right? So they have to work. So occupational therapists work on that. A lot of energy is there. That energy has to be sustained. And you can't ask the body why so much of energy is there. Right? It is a build. It's a body build that you have energy. And what OTs do is, if your energy capacity is 1, they give you activities which are 3 times more than your capacity to streamline it, so that they will set up a behavior. They would sit inside the classroom for that 30-35 minutes, and SEL would do activities to help them learn, and this is a complete copy. So these all have to be streamlined. So that's the reason, and that was what we understood few months back when we were reviewing, and we are continuously working with these SEL departments, looking into their IEPs and all, and that's when the gaps have come. And that's when we thought, okay, for once, let's fix the gaps. And let's make the cycle of learning continuous. And in that process, I think we have understood that there are these few things, no? Motor skill development. People take it very light about motor skill development, no? Sitting, there are few students who just stand up. And in therapies, they use wiggle seats. Until unless they are in therapies, they sit on wiggle seats. When they come home, again there is no wiggle seat. Or if you buy wiggle seat also, there is no instruction, which is equal to an instructor or a therapist giving. So there are so many activities where you can attach. And why are we attaching? The science behind attaching. Every individual has a different kind of therapy attached. So we'll try and know more about that. The other one is about sensory integration. We have a sensory diet. Right? We have a sensory diet. There will be sensory overload for some, there will be sensory underload for some. Like if I am continuously talking for next 1.5 hours without giving a break, then we'll all go into sensory overload. Sensory diet is a child sitting in an English class for 30 minutes today, go back home, able to recollect at least 5 or 6 words, able to at least go through the concept of a story happened. What story? Forget about it. A story happened. That story he heard at least 1 or 2 characters or the storyline. Then his sensory is properly taken care. That's called sensory diet. But what happens is lot of instructions, lot of all these distractions. Either it would be overburdened or it would be underburdened. So there would be something which is attached in the form of OT or PT or whatever it is, so that it will be worked together, and we'll try on working on the learning curve. So that's one component. Social interactions. A lot of times in therapy centers it happens, but at home the same thing is not seen. When you come to school again, you have the same problem because environments are changing. It's all, every learning is from me to outside, right? From in out. Anything is in out. Even when we are teaching pre-primary kids, we teach them local, regional, national and global. We don't come reverse. We shouldn't come reverse. So similarly, me, my family, my school, my community, my world, right? So it is social. So the part of social interactions, people put daily living skills. A lot of us still don't know daily living skills. Most underrated skill, that is. We call it ADLs. For us, the daily living skill is differs from day to day. There are some standard daily living skills, and people just get along because they are smart enough. It doesn't mean that they have all these skills. They are smart enough. Visual processing. I was telling you, right? Visual processing, very important skill. To know the difference, to be able to gauge the distance, to be able to know the depth, to be able to watch the length and breadth, to be able to know whether it is on top or bottom, above or below. These are pre-math or pre-concept skills we talk. If those are settled, they will not have problem in comprehension. A lot of problem comes in comprehension only. They are unable to comprehend. They learn, but they can't comprehend. So those are the skills. And the collaborative partnership. So why are we talking about collaborative partnership is because now I am a therapist, I know what to do, I know which skill to tap on, I have done a lot of work individually with the child, and I send the child to the class. Again the child is gone. Because individually he can handle it. With a partner, with a group, outside in the ground, or on a stage, the same thing has to come in. So the social component. So we thought all these 6 components should come in and should be streamlined. So that was the framework we are thinking for all the students who need a differentiated instruction, and this has to go hand in hand because the major gap we felt was the kind of therapy which is happening in the therapist room is losing its connect when it is coming into the classroom, because therapists can't come and observe the same skill being translated in the classroom. So that's the major gap we thought. So that's when we thought we will start integrating and forming a network. I'll just run you through. Are you with me?
Yes.
It's sinking in?
Yes.
Sensory overload? Sure? Right.
So that's the reason my PowerPoints are only 4 slides, 5 slides.
This is not in someone else. Connect. So, I'll give a good figure. So for fine motor skills, a lot of R1 SEN also they start doing beading. Okay, they make the beading. Most famous, world popular is beading. So my question is, which hand do the kid hold the bead? Which hand do the kid hold the thread? Okay. Okay, right dominant, left dominant.
एक बार आ जाइए.
Generally, which would be correct? Right. Okay. What else? What should be the correct one? Right hand bead, left hand thread, left hand bead, right.
Whatever is right for the child is right.
Right? Yes. And why only one thing should be right? Actually both. Just correct. Actually both. Dominant gives you confidence. Non-dominant gives you the understanding, comprehension. So anything which they are confidently doing has to be always switched once, and they have to, so that they comprehend, they know the difficulty. So if you are doing, and it's not just beads, I don't know why they don't understand, no, you have to use all. Yeah, dabbing, crushing, okay, tearing, horizontal, vertical, it's not funny. Okay, so few skills for some of the sub skills of learning. Before it can connect, I'll let you know 2 or 3 activities you can do when you want to work on sub skills of learning. Is one, visual perception. Like students who will look onto the board, the answer is 2 or 3 lines, and they look onto the second word, bend their head down, copy it, then they lift head up, they don't go to the same word. And that's how they become slow, and that's how they are unable to complete, that's how they are distressed, and the whole behavior of writing goes off. They are very, very happy to write from others' notebook. It's easy, right? Because this is not established. Visual perception is not established. So when in IEPs, when these people do IEPs, they have to include a lot of visual discrimination activities. These are all available online. Thanks to the greatest invention ever. Yeah, we have to focusly bring them, see what skill, what age, what grade app we can do to establish that, make them right. Okay, establish those things. No, there is a visual perception workbook available online. You can just browse and see visual perception workbook skills. So, but there is a level to it, no? Add a level to it. Start doing it. That will help down the line in a very good way to make them understand it with that concentration, lifting head up, down. See, 3-way process the brain has to do. That integration has to happen. That will happen. This is one of the sub skills there. Digit span I told you. Auditory discrimination among so many sounds. They have to pick one sound of the teacher. That's the reason we keep telling teachers, no, loud, actions, movements. Because not just voice, right? Sometimes they register actions also. I remember back in my BSc, all solutions my math teacher used to write on the left side of the board. And if you don't remember what the solution is, you used to just look at the board and okay, yeah, she wrote something this side. So we connect visually, we connect mind, we connect ears, sensory, we connect by touch, we connect by understanding different way. If their alphabets are very weak, we start with sand, we start with water, air, skin. Skin is the most important integration. You have to write it on the skin. When you write it on the skin with closed eyes again, not with open eyes, closed eyes first. Then if you are able to, if he or she is able to understand the form and causation, form and formation, then I think that is set. So what they do in IEPs, what they do in therapies is bring all these small portions of sub-skills, add a behavior component to it, add a therapy component to it, put that exercising part of balancing their diet of mind and diet of body together and push learning so that learning happens. Again, depending upon a personal level and personal comprehension, some it can be slow, some it can be faster, but change happens and it has to happen. So what we are trying to do is to bring in together one early identification. So because last year we were asking a lot of assessments. Assessments are taking time, assessments are, you have to wait. So assessments would be happening here. We'll have a group of very experienced specialists who are RCI certified and who are able to assess the students so that we know the special education department or the developmental needs department would know where their current level of assessment is. That is early identification. Then holistic support. Why telling holistic support? We are not just talking about the SEN department, we are talking about we have a planned calendar for all teachers. Let all teachers know that these can be included in their daily classes. These skills can go in their regular teaching. So that if one session, the boy with special needs have to skip and add in the classroom, it would be benefit for him and he will not feel he is differentiated. So now this particular unit plan as we are doing, we are including a lot of such sub-skills. So strength from inside, I told you, no, I first. So from inside we are trying to strengthen the department, not just SEN department. For every such teacher who is going and taking the class, we have our own calendars coming up. That is the integration. Then that's what ecosystem strengthening is about, building in that confidence from inside. So assessments will happen at the school. The department structures would somewhat look like this. We'll have a central core team for all the 3 schools. The department head would be there for all the 3 schools. There will be one SEN departmental specialist who is experienced and who is also RCI certified. We have senior occupational therapist, a behavior therapist, and a senior special educator because IEPs are the strength. If IEPs are going properly, then visibly you can see the difference. So someone should be monitoring whether it is going correct or not. Brain has a special feature called functional fixedness. You are going through some task over and over again and again and again. At some point, you will not be able to know the difficulty in it or something which is going wrong in it. Someone from outside has to look at it, only then you understand, okay, there is some format or flow or something which has gone wrong. So there is someone who is monitoring over. Then school-wise, we have, every school has their assigned special educators as I go. Then these OTs and PTs will come in rotation. They have the same number of sessions you are having outside, if you are having, and there are clear reporting departmental lines because confidentiality is a key. And 2, they have to know what kind of therapy is happening, what kind of therapy leads to what, and what goal, objective, and outcome is assigned to that particular task. So that is how it is streamlined. So the deployment model would be direct services are individual sessions. Group sessions are very important. You parents also have to take a lot of time to come for group workshops because it will enable you to know a lot of strategies. Okay, we will not talk about any big PowerPoint presentations. If I am doing visual discrimination workshop, I'll give you 10 visual discrimination strategies where you will do for that 15-20 minutes, take home, you run through your kids, come back and tell, "Ma'am, this is working, this is not working," so that they can give you. workshops which are very much oriented, not more than 20-30 minutes. You just require 20-30 minutes where you hands-on work and see, because you know what's happening at home also. Classroom observations and formal assessments. Assessments form a very big role here, because we need to know from where till where, so that our own progress is monitored. Okay, because in CBSE board, IB board, or any curriculum board for special needs, there are so many recommendations. The CBSE board, they can drop down one main subject, one language. Usually that's the difficulty kids have in language. That's the reason mother tongue. We start them with English directly, which is very wrong. We have to have them good, very good mother tongue. Let them speak mother tongue. Let the organs of speech roll. Even food, oromotor development, movement of mouth. Until 3 years, we just mash, give, put water. It's like a grinder. Mash, put it in the mouth, pour water, they'll gulp. Then why did God create all these teeth? No, canines, cut, chew, grind, crunch. Teeth has only 6 or 7 capacities teeth has. So according to the age, this has to be taken care. If this is taken care, what is speech? Speech specialist will tell. The air which goes in monophthongs, diphthongs, which cavity it has to hit, what cavity has to be explored or given activated so that it goes and they start rolling, the tongue starts rolling, the voice comes out or the letter comes out. So this is all because this is really going good. Food has a very beautiful connect. So that continuation. Indirect services, what we do at school level, documentations, IEPs, checking the IEPs, okay, going through your formats of whatever therapies you are going through, the parent meetings, very oriented parent meetings, parent trainings, workshops for our teachers, etc. etc. So this is a 3-tiered framework. Tier 1 intensive, which is student to student. Tier 2 is targeted. So what we do is we do targeted workshops also, like a group of students, to bring in that group of students who has to be trained on digit span or auditory discrimination. We conduct group sessions there. And universal general classroom also we conduct those sessions. So auditory discrimination is important in 9th also. It's important for board going students also. They are not reading the question at all. So we are also not reading anyway. Why do we blame our students? So reading and listening has become very beautiful skill. Toughest skill. We listen half and we read. Mails also, we just skim. We need some few words and we just skim the mails, right? Even students are doing. If you have seen the changing textbooks, all the curriculums are going towards one learning centered approach. So if you are looking at it, they are looking at critical thinking, they are looking at creativity, they are looking at how the information is put in practice. So in such cases, I think they have to read, they have to understand, reading between lines. Again, 8 skills of reading, skimming, etc., etc. This will happen. Now universal, so classroom support is also given. So I mean to say that it is a threefold thing: individual, group, school together. So these are the components. First, the screening and identification will be done at school level. At the beginning of the year, we'll screen all the students. We'll understand. The screening would be for ADHD parenting scale, teacher scale would happen. If it is dyslexia or if it is autism DSM scales would happen. Okay, we'll use all the enhanced parent scales. We'll use all assessments which are standardized. Okay, then documentation and tracking, because if this child has to go till board and he has to get board recommendation, he has to go through the board with whatever subjects. No board gives a certificate separate stating this is a special child. No, certificate is not. They wouldn't even mention. Even if you are having a scribe who will write on your behalf, it is not coming on the textbook, because that's not the end of it, right? 10th is not end of the life, or 12th is not end of the life. There are so many professions which will come now, from now on, and there are so many professions which will vanish from now on. We will sometime later say, oh, this used to be a position, and now it is not there. Who knows? And the kind of entrepreneurship capacities kids are having now, you never know. One smart kid would have ruled the world and changed the face of the market, right? And that kid might be someone who has struggled with a small learning difficulty at the school age. So it's not about studying. So we constantly use the term learning. Right? So then documentation and tracking, this is very important. We are seriously looking at it. Because documentation is some gap which has to be addressed properly. Like I am coming and I want to audit this department. I want to see which IEP and I want to check that IEP going back to that student and say, call this student, I want to see. And I put my activity, I need to know what they are doing. So as much of time a school invests on timetabling, that much of time we want to invest on doing this also. And teacher capacity building, yeah. So I'm a big fan of teacher capacity building and I also do my PDs every year because something new is coming. Right now my love is Mandala. I'm doing a lot in Mandala. We have art specialists also. So I'm telling her you have a lot of work. We will push in art therapies, we push in exercises which help because art is soothing. Music is soothing, right? These all. So a lot of teacher capacity building will happen. Overload, you are with me. See, it's tough, no? Sitting is very tough, no? Some are already yawning, some eyes are half closing, some minds have already half closed. Sitting for 40 minutes is the toughest task. So respect all children who are sitting from 9 to 3. And respect all teachers who can make them sit, no? It's so tough, it's so very tough, it's not easy at all. For every 10 minutes you need to grab attention, you need to change something and 100 questions. How much auditory discrimination a teacher should have? Ma'am, I just overheard, I didn't even go into the class. When I'm coming, I was talking to Tejasvi ma'am and I overheard some student is asking, ma'am, fresh page is this page or next page? Some student is asking, ma'am, 2 lines I've already used, is that still called a fresh page? The teacher asked to turn the page, write in a fresh page, that might be the instruction. Okay, I am wasting 4 lines, ma'am, can I put date and write? Right? This is not, and teacher can't neglect anything. Right? This is some input. So you just imagine, no, for 40 minutes you are already like, something is happening and your auditory discrimination is gone. Right? So it's very tough, very, very tough. So monthly workshops, new parent orientation will come up with a calendar. Quarterly support circles is some plan which is in pipeline. We'll really look at it. We want everyone to come together, all 3 schools, sit and see what kind of strategies, what kind of therapies, talk, exchange, some beautiful ideas you might be doing at home and they are very, very wonderfully working with your child, no? A common forum. Then communication, yeah. You will be in communication loop continuously regarding whatever is happening in this particular department from now on. Okay, you might be getting good communications, but since we are streamlining it, I think it would be more streamlined, more packaged, and that comes as a package to every one of you. You know, even if you're missing on one of those things, you know, you can quickly catch up, okay, this is happening. So it would be like objective and outcome driven package. So these things, we are very strongly working on one inclusion policy. A lot of gaps are there, I accept. A lot of gaps have come, I accept. We have seen it. But we will have a very strong, well-defined inclusion policy to the core that we are doing it. Referral policy would be there where a teacher can refer, but not all students. If a teacher can't bear a student getting up for 4 or 5 times and they consider them as difficult child, not acceptable. So we will help our teachers know whom to refer, when to refer and what level to refer. So we have a referral policy and confidentiality policy. Definitely confidentiality policy is taken care, it is very important. Until we sensitize all our students, we are enabling and it is not labeling. Because of their age, they miss that. Why we miss that, right? We also miss. The students will easily miss. They hear from here and there and then they can just voice out. So confidentiality. And SOPs, yeah, naturally, when a process or a department is coming in. And you will get to know all these policies. It's not that we are just doing it. We'll have a handout or something given when all these policies come to you. Because you are part of it. So this is about how it is going to be integrated. A lot of brains are working. A lot of people are recruited. And Kavya is the first one who's joined. She has joined the capacity of a speech therapist. She is getting used to all these things, and since she has come young and early, so she brings in with that fresh perspective. In fact, all Aishwarya, they come with a lot of young ideas, new ideas.
She's very
Right?
talented now.
Yes.
I saw a lot of change in my son when he went.
Yes. So we are working on one string now. Instead of a lot of things, we are trying to align it so that every one of us know where we are starting and every one of us know where we end, and let the end be good. That's one effort. So this is one of such first sessions you are attending, and more of such sessions we are planning. We would require a lot of cooperation from you people. Okay, egos may go high and low because we are human. Okay, days may go high and low, again we are human. These are not in our control. The only one thing which is in our control is our child and his future. So we are wanting to partner with our child. I was telling someone, under observing, understanding and responding. If these three we are together, I think the child would benefit, and that last drop will all see. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, you may ask now. Else I will ask someone to talk if they are ready to put in there. Otherwise, Kavya will come and she'll explain a bit about her experience. If you have any questions, you can discuss.
I have a question. When are you going to implement all this in next academic year, or you're going to start next January?
We are already looking at, we have the research, which we are already not for other things.
So whoever is there, can we start immediately rather than wasting time till next
Father
year?
started work
Okay.
with few of the students. Same way when we are at the joining, immediately we will take. After you are in school.
One I would want to tell, don't worry if few classes are missing. Okay. Usually a lot of parents worry about math class is going, math class is going. Nothing happens even if the child is sitting inside. Okay. Your core concept will be covered in IEP. We'll make sure. I keep telling them also. When you write your IEP or when you call out for any therapy, ask the teacher what's happening. And see that in your proportionate IEP, that portion is introduced in an activity base so that they don't miss. So even if your child is missing, no, don't worry. Don't hyperventilate. No, just relax and say, that's fine. Because behavior establishment will enable learning. If behavior establishment is not happening, however you try, no, it is like filling a pot with a hole. Behavior has to come in. They need to know, I need to learn, and how I need to learn. So that setting tolerance is very important. That discrimination is important. So they are working on small scale. And we'll make sure, no, counting, no, end of the day I'm MSc electronics, what I have to do is count and give money properly. Right? Right. That's what a major skill is. Who will see my electronic? I'm not even going and using any electronic gadget repairer. I don't even know which is neutral, which is tripping. Because we have everyone. Why did I do electronic? God knows. But what skill I need is, am I able to convey what I learned to few people? At least out of this 10, 12, 1, 2 are in sync with me, at least for 15 minutes. Could I translate the knowledge I have acquired through years into convincing 1 or 2? Done, learning is done. I'll pat my back and say, Madhuri, 4 parents have smiled and went. Something has started. It's a ripple. The ripple you start will not end. It will end long. So don't worry. Okay, don't worry if some classes are missing. That's fine.
And how often IEPs are there towards the
1 month, we do 1 month IEPs. Because any skill which they have started have to go through at least 4 or 5 cycles. Because not all activities are like. Now this year we are going to look into very tightly IEPs. We'll just scrap all the old methods and bring in a lot of fresh new methods. Because activity can go in many ways. All I want is the student has to write 2 lines. Why have 100 activities to make them write 2 lines? Why would they only want to read or record or do? I know I want whatever. You tell me. I want to introduce vocabulary. You tell me what breakfast you had in morning. Any one of you? What breakfast? I just asked breakfast here. I didn't ask your account number. Why you got? See? Perception of filter. Suddenly it didn't. Why she asked me? So you go back and scold your students. Very bad parents you are. You gave an expression that I thought, did I ask them an account number or PIN number of any of their cards? That expression you gave. Idli, I'll tell, I add idli. I want to introduce vocabulary at grade 2 level. What I will ask them is, how is idli made? Idli has batter should be fermented, idli should be steamed, Idli should be molded, idli should be demolded. Done. For me, they have to learn words. How I make them learn words is my art. But dosa is not steamed, dosa is roasted. Dosa batter is different. Dosa is not demolded, dosa is spread. So much. So that English class is using action verbs. I have taught them more than action words to them. They can go and talk, right? So how activities happen, we will look at it. But if something is happening in the name of learning, let it happen. It will really, really help. Don't worry. Your kids are in good hands, don't worry. Anything else? Yeah.
It's not about missing the class or they are anything like that. It's about pulling them from the regular class. So it's like my son will ask, why this friend Shoaib is there? Why Shoaib is not there? Why am I doing it? So these kind of why questions is happening. So I don't know how to
So the
check.
capacity building of the teachers.
Okay.
Okay, that's the gap we found. So we told them teachers will learn few strategies. When they use the strategy, the days where they are using strategy inside the classroom, they are not pulled out. And they will also know what kind of vocabulary they have to use to send kids to the session. So we will enable them from inside. Vocabulary is important. They will use right vocabulary, trust us.
I just wanted to add on to that. Like my kid, he is like, today I need to follow all these things. So if you suddenly pull him out of that, where nobody else is going, he gets hyper. After coming back also from the session also, he'll be hyper. Because he missed something, he knows he missed something. And teacher is trying to talk to me, he's like, no, don't talk to me, no, don't talk to me, something. He's not able to communicate that, he's missing out on something. So I think teachers need to step in there and to understand that something is missing, so I need to give them their space. So, this is where you need to push things on teachers also a lot.
We have seen it, ma'am. That's the reason I was, in every alternate slide I was telling teacher capacity building. Not SEN capacity building, teacher capacity. Because SEN are trained specially for that. But teachers are not, right? So we are doing internal capacity building. Certain words which have to be used, certain words which should not be used. They'll be mindfully doing it and we will make them aware. Because that's what is more important. And we rightly know that and we are with you. That makes a lot of difference in behavior again. If I'm talking a lot about learning behavior, you are arresting the learning behavior of the child which is not correct. So we are very mindful, very, very mindful on that.
Because it should be seamless process.
Yes.
Because if the kid gets even a single negative experience out of it, he'll again show negativity towards going to the therapy. He'll be like, I don't want to be pulled up. So no matter how well we plan it, until it suits the kid, it won't work out. So it needs to be done in a very carefully planned thing.
Yes, we are accepting it 100%. And maybe that's the reason we started working on the department past 6 months if you can ask. And that's how we understood the gaps. That's how we wanted to connect. And this will happen. Okay, there would be one or two inconveniences because again we are all human.
Yeah,
Certain people learn quickly, understand quickly. Certain people may take time, but we make people understand. Yeah, we feel I think the best safe, secure place for a child is school. And a lot of things should happen. So that's one thing which is always here. And wonderfully, we have a passionate group of special educators like us and equally passionate teachers. Okay, their training will
Ma'am, couple of things. First of all, it's not a question. It's just that, if my understanding is correct. So, there are so many things. It's OT, it's PT, it's speech, and special education are things. Not all kids might require everything. Like for example, not all kids require PT. If they're not ADHD, doesn't have ADHD, and just have some developmental delays, they may probably go for OT and PT. So here, how is it going to be? My understanding is that of what you explained, first of all, there is going to be an assessment to assess the kid and to see what is required for that kid. Right, is my understanding.
Yes.
So based on that, maybe probably few kids might have all four, few kids
Yes.
might just have one, few kids might just have two. So that's how it's going to be.
Yes.
And the second thing is, so now for most of the kids, I think almost all the kids are going through some or the other therapies, and somewhere we are seeing progress. And this also is a trial and error basis for parents. After so many trials of so many therapy centers here, there, running around so many years, and then finally you feel you see some result somewhere. So now somewhere you're seeing that progress. So you always have that, you're skeptical on mind, like somewhere he's progressing. What if again you're changing that? Will that impact his growth? Because it's a new environment. They have to again get used to this. Again, I don't know how they will respond. There are so many factors for them to learn. Maybe that particular therapy center or therapist, they have now connected to them and they're showing progress. But what if that same thing, especially with the young kids, like mine is, like he just turned it. They don't understand so many things, he can't interpret. He just goes with the feelings. So what if here he might not be able to connect to them, he might get bored, and what if that little bit of progress, what has happened, we might get impacted. So how are we going to take care? And the third thing is, so this is like, whatever like we are going to do, this is mandatory. So parents, my question is, we don't have an option of saying that no for this thing and continuing the therapies outside, not like that.
It's coming as a
Part of the
flow,
curriculum.
ma'am.
Okay.
See, because OTs outside are done to establish a behavior. Okay, this is all linked actually, it's all interlinked. We are providing link at the school itself. Okay, of course it comes with a cost and we will let you know that cost. But again, separation anxiety will be there. It is not a denial. But we understand that there will be separation anxiety. So we know what to do or what strategy to bring in. That is one. Two, school premises is a known premise for them, right? And some of the strategies will include all class so that the social quotient is worked well. So that strategy works well for them. And third thing, but social anxiety will be there. It's a correct point. Without, we can't say that it will not be anxiety. Because that's a trust we say, no? That trust is already formed. But we have enough strategies to have that trust shifted in a very smooth way. Maybe we'll also interact with the therapist, what at that point in level, what they are doing and all. We'll get the assessment and all, we'll take care of that. Coming to the kind of therapies, maybe the number of sessions of therapy may vary, but they would require all the therapies except for speech, they have speech incoherence, but the other two will actually add as an advantage to bring in that, and maybe they'll quickly transit from having a difficulty to being manageable in the difficulty, if these are being backed up. That was one motion, okay, to give all these therapies, and you know how costly is the therapy to bring in to a school is not an easy task for us, and we are also pumping in ready, they are pumping in a lot, ready to pump in a lot of money. You know, specialists, how they are. To bring them to the school and bind them into a school rhythm is not that easy. So we are also looking at very passionate, very experienced people who can get that ice broken with the kid soon and who are open to innovation, not just the old methods. There's a lot of new methods, a lot of new therapies and strategies are coming. Who are with us in this? We are also enrolling all these people into going into a lot of workshops and know something new. So this will become a continuous process. I'm telling you, teething problems will be there. Whenever we start something new, even if the dance Natu Natu has become so popular because of the coherence of the step, right? Because two heroes, two star level heroes could bring that relevance and they could come and get in sync and together. It was a very tough task, and if you have heard interviews, they keep telling about that again and again. So to bring different energies together is not an easy task. But we know the potential threats, and when you can foresee potential threats and gaps, I think we are well prepared. Of course, your support is mandate. We being together is mandate all through. But we see very green pastures now. We are going with a very positive notion that a child is, we are looking at a child end of the tunnel also. So to go through tunnel, I think we'll have to flex a bit sometimes. Yeah.
Again, whatever she has said, tentatively by when do you think, this might take
We are in fast track mode only. We are trying to say before.
Each day for us, it's like each,
exactly.
week is a learning.
Every day
If I
matters.
start here, it will be very helpful
Yes.
so that we don't
We
have to
don't
waste
want
4
to
5 months
wait till
somewhere.
next academic year.
But
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
probability, we are trying to close it before Feb. Okay, so that we start with an assessment on the new academic year is what we are thinking. The faster it is, the better. But Feb is what we have put and we are working. Our goal was Feb, and we are working very fastly towards it. If it is happening a bit earlier, we will keep you, because communication will start very soon. We'll keep you and you can come to the other doubts, the commercials involved, etc., etc. The therapist introduction, orientation with therapist. We also have a lot of work in our plate. So these all will start happening. But please watch out for our communications, especially in this regard. We will roll out all the communication as fast and as soon as possible. We'll also come with deadlines, come with the dates, etc., so that you are well informed and you can take calls.
Okay. Every day matters for them.
Yes.
Deadline.
Actually, my son is coming with a shadow teacher. My dream is without a shadow teacher, just watching 2 hours, he has to complete.
It will come up slowly. It will come.
Can I
Don't-
expect that
you-
from your end?
It can come up depending upon the level of or intensity of support the kid needs. Okay, definitely without the support is the goal of any therapy. But again, it depends upon the level, distraction, comorbidities, a lot of things happen. That's what it is. So what we do is we try to put a strategy in such a way that we'll slowly remove without his. It's like riding a bicycle, giving a balancing wheel first, giving a shorter cycle first, then a bit higher, then someone.
Yeah, running 2 years. So, not for 1 year or maybe single step that was not happen, but as in that is my dream.
Your dream will come true, Nanda.
Shit, he has to come to school with independently. Generally, he's come everywhere he is going to eyes are watching him. No, he has to go.
It would
So
happen.
learning is a different thing. That is what we in the classroom we go with academics or not. I'm not that particular with the academics. He has to be independent and remind.
It will fall in place. Again, I'm telling you, depend upon the intensity and comorbidity. So that's the reason activities of daily living are specifically mentioned. Activities of daily living is reliving daily without being monitored and having that self-discipline, right? So that is one main component of IEP. If they divide IEPs into 4 or 5 segments, the first component they'll tell is ADL only, making them feel independent. It would happen. Having a special ed kid is a tight rope to walk. You can't stop walking or you can't go smoothly. It is always tight rope walk. Please don't look at the world when you are walking. Only concentrate on your work. Don't look at the world. If you are looking at the world, you will lose yourself. You look at the rope will end.
He stopped long back.
Yes, don't look at the world.
With all experience.
I have, when I started with a lot of passion, when I started clinical psychology, I had a kid who parents had 2 boys. This is the boy who fell under all the markers of ADHD and autism. And the parents' daylights got blasted and they got him 4th standard. The boy is now working. He's working in one of the MNCs and he's doing a job where I don't say he's a strategic thinker, but he's doing a good job with good salary. And whenever I see him, it gives me so much of confidence, not just one, so much of confidence. And when he comes back and I'm his friend, I'm his girlfriend, I'm his tutor, I'm everything. His questions, the way he conducts, those are my strategies actually. He asks some questions. So when I go back and reflect on his journey and the parents' journey, it's so beautiful that it would end in a very good way. Some end in a very good way, some get managed so beautifully. Manages so beautifully that doesn't affect or matter anymore. So maybe individual journeys are like that. So don't look at it. Only our rope, our child and our targets. That's
They scary.
Yes. Thank you so much again. You leave me and talk whole day.
I just want,
Yes, sir.
like we had experience of going to therapy centers for the last 4 or 5 years. Center heads over there had some interaction, very good interaction. They know technically where the child is. But when we come to the school level, hardly we have a shadow teacher. But shadow teacher doesn't know ABC of whatever you are talking. We know that. They are only trying to improve academics on the child, which is only looking one way. When shadow teacher is there, teacher thinks that I should not involve with the child. Shadow teacher is always there. Then teacher, student has already become everything in the class. When we are doing ESC and all that, it's a very result-oriented effort that we should appreciate. That we are trying to bring in therapies, technical knowledge into the space, and we are trying to look at the development of the child. We very much appreciate it. Because whatever we are spending outside, it should reflect in the classroom environment. We are trying to.
So you can ask all these people about where it started is with the shadow, right? It started with shadow teachers only, right? We were very particular what a shadow teacher is doing inside the classroom.
Now my only last request is that please also treat the center head as part of one of this role, because they have some inputs to share with you. They
Yeah,
can talk
sir,
technically,
sure.
To whatever you are doing.
Yes.
Maybe you can do your independent assessment, but let them also put their thoughts into whatever they understand about it.
If you have heard me in the previous conversation, I was telling you, be in touch. Because what strategy they are using is definitely something which we have to take it at least until that initial jitters of the child is gone, that will be taken care. We are doing it, sir. We are tightening all the loose threads. We are not saying loose threads are not there. We are saying enough loose threads are there. But this is a process of tightening every loose thread possible. Maybe sometimes your inputs, we go back and check. Maybe sometimes our own teachers. Maybe we only go and understand this is not happening. But this process will happen without stopping and it will continue for some time.
I'm not against his opinion, but shadow teacher also matters a lot. She takes him to the cafeteria, she takes him the way she teaches how to stand in line, the manners, everything, because they deal from the day he comes to the school to the end of the school.
Like there is case.
It varies. See, that's the reason.
Sometimes it becomes a overburden.
No, ma'am, correct. Two sides of the same coin. Okay. So what we do is we will not talk about which side is correct or wrong. What we will do is we have what we have. How best these people can act for us. That's what is something we are more oriented. Okay, we'll have all kinds of people. Right? Don't worry about it.
Last one thing, what about this long, holidays like summer holiday, summer break, then Sankranti break, Dasara break. So therapies, children.
Good input.
Yeah.
We'll think on it.
Yeah, because we
Very
don't
good
want
input,
break.
ma'am. I will not fake saying we have taken care of it. No, this idea will come. Yes, very truly. I think if it is therapies, I think they shouldn't stop because of the school is stopping. But this input we will include and make the therapy.
Because the gap matters a lot.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
And one last thing, generally for therapies, whenever we go, we generally will be a part of it so that we see the activities and we try to come back at home. But here, since it's happening in the school, so like how do we get?
Again, I come back to my PowerPoint, group sessions, parent sessions.
Oh,
Right? I already told. And these are all things which came to our notice. Whatever came to our notice, we put it a point. We shouldn't miss. Okay, so you will be part of the group sessions. You will be part of. Make sure you are coming.
So will there be like any daily status update, like today
You'll
we have
get
taught them
yeah.
this part of this?
You are getting your WTRs, right? Weekly transaction reports. The kind of same reports would come specially for you.
Okay.
What is happening. Ma'am, a lot of information about how this is all will start reaching.
As I said, if I am in therapy session, for me and the therapist, some coordination is there with the student, particular kid. So parents are enrolled in the
Group sessions.
not that.
Everyday session not that. How many sessions will you be there as a parent, ma'am? It's all about making them independent, right? But
For learning purpose, see weekly 45 minutes of speech therapy is there. Make a choice for 4 days I'm coming. So whatever therapist says, that is what my personal experience with NND CDC. So I'm going there last 1.5 years there. Before that, he's going somewhere. As a parent, I'm not allowed in the therapy session because they have some tantrums here with the parents. So they're not allowed. But in NND CDC, what I experienced personally is they allowed the parents in the therapy sessions. Either it's OT or in the speech therapy, they allowed in both sessions. I am there personally. I know the kid and what's going on. I concentrate there. So same action cards are same cards are same. So quick learning is possible. That is what my experience with my kid personally.
so there are sessions for parents which will be focused on what
So
kind of a
she
skill is
because
there.
even I see what my experience is, their vocabulary is very limited. So they are very limited to communications where they exceed their communication. So at that moment, in that therapy sessions, she is telling something the same time like what we experienced before that. Same instruction, but
Different comprehension.
different. No. Paper was read differently, but all the parents. So like that same content is delivered with the therapist and the parent. It is
easy to,
Speech, I think Kavya will work out on it.
that is easy to actually think to grasp the things. That is my personal experience. See, maybe what and there are some activities we are not able to involve daily in that.
Speech specifically you're asking,
Specifically speech, even the single word is transferred to one to another is different. He will not
Yes,
cope up
yes.
with the session.
I understood where you're coming from, ma'am. Definitely, when the speech therapies are planned and we share the framework, we'll make sure that how a parent can come and be part of a session that also will. Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
No problem.
The thing is, you will be starting with an assessment on the child.
Yes.
And then you will prepare an IEP.
Yes.
So this IEP, is it for the whole academic year?
No, ma'am. No IP will be for whole academic year.
Will
It
it
will
be
be a
transparent?
weekly, it will be transparent. You
You
will
will be
be coming,
sharing it with
yes,
us?
we will share.
And is it on a weekly basis?
Yes. The periodicals of which the skills and the strategies are used, we will let you know. Because certain skill, it has to go 15 days and then we will see the result. Certain skill, it has to go. What kind of strategies we are using, what kind of skill is objective and what kind of outcome will be shared very regularly.
Regression will also happen.
It can happen. I'm saying taking problems would be there, but you will know what's happening. You will know what's happening.
Really appreciate the time.
You will know. You will know. You have to know. The total partnership is trying to understand what you can do with the same things at home also. What happens to the same things in different environment also. So you will have it.
So after the IEP is set, what is the next thing?
Your therapies would start.
In the school.
In the school would start. And you will have your monthly meetups. You'll have your quarterly groups which
So
you
ma'am,
have.
the child is coming to the school with a shadow teacher.
Yes.
Alongside, we have to put them into the school therapies as well. Alongside.
Yes.
Okay. What if the shadow teacher is qualified enough to take all these therapies?
Shadow teacher can't take it inside a classroom. Your shadow teacher, I didn't see any shadow teacher who has done a therapy, at least in our setup in the school. Because shadow teacher's qualification is not a therapist qualification.
Actually, the one shadow teacher I have hired is Julie.
She's
from an agency.
She's qualified. I don't think so, ma'am. Please background check. I may be wrong, but for a therapist, they have to be RCI certified. They need to have these DSM-5, all the assessments with them. They need to have the experience of handling an assessment. They need to know how the comorbidities work. If the strategy is not working, it is not that easy. And if someone is doing that so good, why should they be a shadow teacher? They should as well become a therapist, right? I don't think so, ma'am. I may be wrong. I'm not saying I'm correct, but I don't think so. Please check on it. Okay, an agency may tell you that they know what happens. Maybe she might or he might have seen a lot of such things happening around and feel we know. But knowing is, even you, because your kids are going through so many therapies, you know the therapy, but how many strategies you know?
No, what I know is that AD therapy is going on among them. So AD includes speech.
A lot of things, ma'am, a lot of things. See, even if I put ABA on Google, it will give us total process. But it changes from scenario to scenario. But please cross-check, ma'am. It's a very wonderful point you have put it. Please cross-check.
Okay, ma'am, you have told that these will be coming with a charge.
Assessment would be the part of the total fee which is charged. Assessment is not charged.
Okay. So, ma'am, as a parent, no, I'm just clearing it out loud. I have to pay the school fee, I have to pay the shadow teacher fee, and I have to pay the extra things for the school, whatever the thing is coming up, and I have to pay the extracurricular activities of my son as well. Don't you think it's a little bit expensive for the parent?
Quality comes with cost.
Then we focus on the quality in every aspect.
That part I can't. That part is the management. But I will tell you, there is a cost. It might be bit more on the pocket right now. But our total effort is to see that the gaps are not there and everything happens at one place. The run between the range and the therapies, the sessions, the gap between therapy being converted into learning, behavior and all is what we started with. Okay, so that was what our idea was. Of course it comes with a cost. And of course there are a lot of costs when we look at different components because We have recently interviewed two very, very good, maybe you know also or you might have gone to them also, of occupational therapists which we are hiring them for a bump of money, which is not even budgeted in the annual academic budget. Because we are not taking 1 or 2 years or something, because OT and behavior therapy is very important. So we are not going with any compromise over there. So it's coming with a very big cost. So that part I think it is. Cost and fee part, I think I am not really equipped and I shouldn't talk more. Now my purview, I said giving you a quality, very good IEPs, monitoring all these people that they are in going in many ways. We are all aligned, we are in one same pipeline, and looking at your kid going out of Meridian, flying colors. That's what we are all looking at.
So why don't you provide a shadow support to plan rather than be hiring someone?
Maybe don't know now. Maybe down the line, because we are just starting with one vision at a time thing, where our vision and what planning we have done past 6 months is focused on whatever we are doing. Maybe, don't know. Maybe this is going very good and we feel that we can also give our parents. We can't promise it at this point in time. But I think we won't say no also. If everything is going well, maybe that inconvenience is also good enough. But for now, I think we can't. Sorry for that. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think this is the final thanks. I'll not bore you with a lot of thanks again. Thanks for sitting patiently. Right. Thanks so much. And meet you again in some session. Please make sure whatever sessions are happening, please come. There are a lot of strategies you will learn. Make sure you are coming. Have a nice day. Thank you.